Tell me about the level of excitement at Letts Towers. How palpitating are you in anticipation of tomorrow?
I'm not sure that excitement is quite the word. I think there's more a sense of awe and curiosity, and also political interest in this. This is very much a political event, a stately event in the proper sense of that. Am I excited? I think that would be not quite proper in a way. I think I'm gripped by it, and I feel absorbed by it, but I'm not sort of cartwheeling down the nave yet.
As you normally do. So this is a very unusual state of affairs for you not to be cartwheeling in that kind of insouciant manner. Tell me though, for those people who are not sharing your sense of awe, your sense of curiosity, as you say, and your appreciation of a highly significant event that you are curious about and looking forward to experiencing, how would you infuse them with your curiosity and your sense of a momentous occasion, people who don't think it's any
Well,
kind of big deal?
I'd say, first of all, one of the good things about our country is that there is not a compulsion to be loyal and adoring of the royal family. It's something that is earned, and that's only right and proper. Say to those people that this is undoubtedly a rare event. Last one was years ago, and therefore it's a historical event, and it is of moment in our lives as citizens or subjects. But it doesn't matter what your feeling about the royal family is, this is undoubtedly a significant event, and therefore worth looking at out of interest, if nothing else.
And of course, a deeply religious occasion, you know, utterly celestial and sublime to very many people who'll be watching.
Yes, and that will upset people who are not religious, who are militant secularists, perhaps. And I would say to those people, well, you know, very much respect your view, but at the same time, the religion of it, and it's, of course, it's an Anglican service, but I'd say that the religion has a wider application than it's spiritual. I think that that is right as well, because it takes power and politics to a higher level. It takes it way above parliament, way above party on a day of local elections. And it therefore has a wider application. And it's to do with duty, and it's to do with stronger emotions and responsibilities, rather than just someone standing up and say, I've won this election, therefore I am head of state. And therefore, I think it makes it a more communal event. It makes it less about the person at the centre and more to do with the idea. And I think those are all positive.
And you know, I'm charged with discussing Prince Harry with you. My desire for everything to go smoothly and everyone to be happy and live happily ever after, and for the king to live forever, is so overwhelming at this juncture. I'm almost reluctant to just lob the words Prince and Harry at you in this way, but I feel I have to, because I've got to grow up and be a professional journalist if I could possibly manage it. So you know, we don't know where he is. He doesn't seem to have shown up yet. We know that he's buzzing off the second it's all over, not even staying for a vol au vent afterwards, a mere canapé, nothing, just going. I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, maybe he's on a diet. Maybe she's told him he can't have carbs. I don't know. I'd say that I'm glad that the Duke of Sussex, given his title, is going to be there. I think it's right and proper that as one of the king's sons, he be there, and also as one of his mother's sons, don't forget. And I also think it's a very sad thing when brothers fall out. I had a brother, and I loved him to bits, and I respected him, my older brother, and I had a really good relationship with him, and I was lucky. Some brothers don't get on in every family, even the Feltz family, I'm sure, the Feltz clan, who I'm sure are a great lot. There are probably one or two frictions inside the family. It happens in any big family. And these things are, therefore, they're universal, and they aren't necessarily, you know, a particular failing of the House of Windsor. I think that it's probably to his credit that we haven't seen a great yabba dabba do about his arrival, and we haven't had some soundbite from him. I think that shows a certain maturity by him, and may that last. And he'll be seated quite a long way back from the Prince of Wales. There is a desire, I think, on the part of William, perhaps on the part of the palace, to make sure that there is no image of William and Harry together, to make it harder for the snappers. I'm sure that they might manage, nonetheless, to get them into the same frame. And you never know, but when the great organ of Westminster Abbey strikes up, when the choir break in, when Zadok the priest gets going, I just wonder what will be going through his mind. And I suspect that there will be a sense of, blimey O'Reilly, this is a big event, and this is perhaps bigger than some of the irritation I've had in my heart towards my brother and my father.
If I were to ask you what kind of a man you think the king is, and you're a political sketch writer, but also you write about theatre, and you're a Renaissance man and a polymath, and you've had a chance to have a good look at Charles after all these years, as we all have. What kind of a person do you think he is? What kind of a king do you think he'll be?
You're trying to get me decapitated, Fox. I think there was earlier talk about whether or not the king is going to be able to on politics. He really has to, because we can't see that, okay, that very engaged side of his that's been in the past, but there's a certain impulsive aspect to him in the past, in the way that he's, and stubborn. Stubbornness can be good as well. He's been so outspoken in the past that it just can't go on like that. And long may his courtiers have the strength to tell him that. I like the fact that he is cultured, he's well read, better read than many of his ancestors. Mm-hmm. And also that he's very artistic, and I think he's tremendously community-minded, and he's tremendous on reaching to ethnic minorities. So what Paul Burrell was saying earlier about the black community, I was surprised. I think that there's a big place in the minorities' arts for the king, and I just hope that he has long enough to leave his mark on this amazing office, this sort of divine duty that he's got, because I think he could be a great king. He's following a very difficult act, and he's following a lady who lived a very long time and therefore burrowed into our consciousness in such an extraordinary way. It's going to be much harder for him immediately to hold the same position. So we've got to be alive to these realities and accept him for who he is. And he's got a sense of humour as well.
Quentin, thank you very much indeed.
That wasn't always.
I don't think you're going to end up in the Tower for that. I think that was politic. I think that was gentle, and I think it was compassionate. Just the very hallmark of the man that you are. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Good to have you on the programme.